You know what is not talked about enough within the working world, the 9 to 5 world, is that a lot of people talk about pretty girl privilege, right? But let me tell you something that is just as prevalent as pretty girl privilege, and it is ugly girl privilege.
So, we usually talk about pretty privileges and we do not talk about ugly privileges. So, this woman made a video saying that there are ugly privileges, especially in corporate world. And she kind of gave an example of the ugly privilege, ugly women privileges in corporate world. Do you guys think there are ugly privilege, ugly women privilege, or there's privilege for ugly women? When we say ugly women, I feel like you know what we say. You know, there's society standard of pretty, uh-huh, and there's society standard of ugly, right? Unattractive women, right? Do you think there are privileges for being unattractive? Let me show you all this video, then we'll talk about.
You know what is not talked about enough within the working world, the 9 to 5 world, is that a lot of people talk about pretty girl privilege, right? But let me tell you something that is just as prevalent as pretty girl privilege, and it is ugly girl privilege. Now, ugly girl privilege on TikTok has a totally different message. Ugly girl privilege on TikTok means where men find you unattractive and you don't deal with all the basically the fugazi shit that beautiful women deal with, like trying to holler and all that kind of all the X, Y, and Z, or the drama that beautiful women deal with because of being beautiful. What I mean by ugly girl privilege, I mean as in being that you are aware that you're unattractive and you know that you're unattractive, but you have to be good at something. I feel like ugly girl privilege on TikTok, they lean in more of the positive side, but nobody talks about the negative side of pretty girl privilege. And it is just as prevalent as pretty girl privilege. Ugly girl privilege, the dark side of it is just as prevalent as pretty girl privilege. And the shit is equivalent to crap. I'm telling you, it works like a charm. I've seen it happen so many times, especially in corporate America. What I mean by that is, let's say you the only, and sometimes include myself, we've been in those situations where you're the only girl who's attractive in the room, right? Of course, being that you're unattractive and you have women who are highly unattractive and who are highly insecure, they're not going to like you. So what they'll do is create a false narrative in their head. I can't say I don't like you because you're beautiful. I can't say I don't like you because you look better than me. I can't say that. So let me create a false narrative in my head, and as if we're beefing, or as if you've done something to me, even though you don't talk to me, because I feel like you think you're better than me. Let me go lie on you and tell a manager something real quick. When it comes to ugly girl privilege, when a lot of women know they're unattractive, they lean, and when they're insecure, they lean on a really, really dark side. And a lot of them become really great liars and manipulators. I don't care if she's white, black, light skin, brown skin, dark skin, Hispanic, Asian. When it comes to ugly girl privilege, and when they cry in their office with your manager, it's just as strong as white women tears in America. And that shit works. Because naturally, when you are unattractive, people feel bad for you. They do. People don't talk about it enough. But when people find you highly unattractive, they feel bad for you. And they feel like they're forced to compliment you. Even when you don't look good, they do. But when it comes down to beautiful women, everything we do is we buy a new car, we buy a new bag. It has something to do with a man. Or if when it come down to beautiful women, oh y'all the hoes. Whole time you got your own money, X, Y, and Z. But that's just how society does us. I'll never forget a time I was at one of my previous jobs, and growing up as a child, I watched The Godfather. And I'll never forget when Michael said, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. And I went and told my manager, I said, hey, I just want to inform you, I'm dealing with a lot of I know you're new here, but I deal with a lot of jealousy here, so I keep to myself. And she was like, yeah, I see that you keep to yourself a lot. I said, yeah, I do. And this was, I worked at a bank at a first major, at my it was my first major bank. I was dealing with so much, it was like a hot mess, all because of the way that I looked. So I'll never forget, girl, my lead was giving me so many problems, so many problems. But when I first got there, they were all the girls, the lenders and the other tellers were basically warning me about her. They were like, you know, you got to watch her, you got to watch her, X, Y, and Z. Remember, they were telling me I have to watch this lead. So me being beautiful and the only beautiful one there, of course, a month later, everybody started showing their true colors, and they didn't like that. Me coming to work every day on point, nails done, makeup done, hair done, all that, they couldn't stand me for that. So, girl, I was having so much trouble with my lead that we were in the office. And I'll never forget, my branch manager had told me, she was like, oh, the girls had said that they've been having issues with you. I said, I don't even talk to them. I said, what you talking about? I said, and you know that. All y'all know that. I said, y'all know what I be dealing with up in here. I said, what you talking about? I said, and the crazy part is, I said, when I first got here, and I said this in front of the lead as well, but in front of her and the lead. I said, when I first got here, I said, the girls were telling me that she was the problem. And I said, I realized that she was. Well, the girls had informed me that the problem is, the girl said that you don't say good morning to them in the morning. I said, girl, what? Yeah, they said when you come in the morning, you don't speak. I said, this is the South. This is a general hello. I said, I thought good morning was a general hello. I said, I'm not about to sit up here. Oh, hey, Tika. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Bookie. Hey, bitch, I'm about to clock in and work. If you need that kind of type of time, you need to find you a man or whomever you date. Okay? I said, besides that, I said, because that's crazy. I said, is there anything else? No. That's just all they said, that you don't speak to them, and that's been a problem for them. I told her, I said, you know, if I would have never came to you, you would have believed them. You would have believed them. Because one thing about women who are highly unattractive, it becomes a cult. They click up together. It becomes a coven, a cult. No bad bitches allowed. We can tell, baby. It's possums and armadillos up in this clique. We can tell. We can tell. I've been through so much with women who are highly unattractive to the point where I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to be brutally honest. And this video might go viral and y'all might not like what I say, and it's fine. But it's really hard for me to sympathize with a lot of y'all, because a lot of y'all get on this app and start crying. I don't feel beautiful. Oh, this and oh, that. But at work, I don't work with a lot of you bitches. I don't work with a lot of y'all. Y'all the mean girls, and I will continue to say this all the time. The original mean girls be the ugly girls who are unattractive, don't keep themselves up or nothing. Just be keeping up shit. So don't act like a lot of y'all don't have privileges, because y'all be leaning on that dark side. When y'all be jealous as hell and trying to get somebody fired, oh, it works for you. It works for you. When y'all go up in the manager's offices telling lies, it works for you. Because you know, y'all know that when you are unattractive, people naturally feel bad for you. And they feel they have to call to you and hold your emotions and everything. The person who's attractive, they're not going to believe us, because society hates beautiful women. Society hates beautiful women. Ugly girl privilege is just as prevalent as pretty girl privilege. It is. And it works for a lot of you all. I have seen it, especially in corporate America. It's horrible. It's really bad. Horrible. You know what is not talked about enough within the working?
Are we gonna call this ugly privilege? Let me know your thoughts about this video down in comment section. I have a reaction on this video, interesting one, you guys. So let's listen to these videos together, and I'll see you at the end of the video.
It's my turn. Hold on. She is 100% right. But one thing she did not talk about in her video that I know ties into her point exactly, another way to put it, or another way to look at it, another scenario, whatever you want to say, is not only if you're pretty, but if you are the younger girl in the work area, the job, whatever. It's always that older coworker that is hating on you for no reason. I know this is a universal experience and not just for me. It's that one older coworker that's always hating, always has something to say, always has a nasty attitude to you for some reason. And it is prevalent if you are the youngest person at that job. And it's kind of questioning like, oh, why is she here? What is she capable of? So on. She has the qualifications, basically. They are always intimidated by the younger person in office, especially if you feel me? Those are the ones to get you fired as well. I hate it. I've experienced that at every single job I have been to, every single job. Especially if you have something going for yourself. They ask you, oh, are you in school? Yes, so on and so forth. And they get to know more about you and they realize that most of the time they weren't how you were when they were their age, and or you have qualities that they should have as an older woman. I don't know where the hate comes from. And I don't want to mark it as jealousy because the person is older than you. But it's always like the older coworker, the older woman, to always hate on the younger woman. Every time. Every time. Correct? Every time. Somebody has experienced this. Every time I know someone else has experienced this. I promise you. And half the time, that younger person working minds their business. The sweetest in the office. It's like that. It's that one person, man. It's that one person. And it's always that one person. That one older woman, that one older coworker that hates you for no reason. And not being so harsh on the eyes makes it worse. We need to have better. Unlike me, I go to HR. HR don't do nothing half the time, but I go to AR because you're not gonna bully me. This is minor harassment, and I know there are bullying policies. She's breaking them. Start going to HR. If this is happening to you right now, start going to HR. Thank you.
Ugly girl privilege on TikTok has a totally different message.
Is completely different in the corporate world. I wholeheartedly disagree with you because you're conflating ugly girl privilege with the general behaviors of a woman being insecure. You can be beautiful and be just as insecure. You can be perceived as ugly
True.
and be confident. So I have a responsibility to correct you. The same argument that you made about ugly girls versus pretty girls, I'm sure smart girls, as I like to call them, aka sexy nerds, could make the same argument about pretty girls hating on them in the workplace simply because they're smart. Do you see where I'm going, sis? I'm trying to help you out. Now, ugly girl privilege has a lot to do with the benefits of being perceived ugly by society. Then you brought up makeup. You do realize that you can keep yourself up. You can throw on some makeup, but if you don't have the skin tone, the features, or the textures that is perceived as being beautiful, you're still considered ugly. So this whole idea of like, oh, I keep myself together, da 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 da, this is why they hating on me, has nothing to do with them being ugly as much as it has to do with them being insecure. I just want to make that clarification. Y'all have a good night.
And sometimes, including myself, we've been in those situations where you're the only girl who's attractive in the room, right?
I watched that entire video and I was wishing, hoping, and praying that there was a gotcha at the end, and there was not. 100% serious, no satire at all, unless I missed it somewhere. And if I did, please correct me, because I really don't want this video to be real. Ugly girl privilege? I mean, that video left a nasty taste in my mouth. And she's talking about she's one of the beautiful ones, and I'm not seeing anything but ugliness from the inside. My lord. We live in a society where the patriarchy rules all, and unfortunately women, their main currency is their attractiveness. And if we say anything else other than that, we're lying. And this delusional idea that women that aren't considered, conventionally attractive to the masses have this unspoken privilege that we don't speak of. Yeah, that's called you're delusional and you're self-centered and you think the world revolves around you. So everything bad that happens, it happens because ugly women are out to get you. That's what this sounds like. This sounds like a pill could fix this. That's what this sounds like. I'm not saying that it never happens, but no, not like this.
I believe there are ugly privileges that some women have come out to talk about that they do not get attention from men. You know, the fact that we're trying to stay away from these men. So being ugly is actually one of it. When you're not attracted to them, is a privilege that they don't come and disturb your peace, especially when you're having a good time. So some people come online to say they enjoy that privilege and all of that. But when it comes to corporate world, I feel like the kind of scenario that she painted might not be that they are actually ugly, ugly. If they are not unattractive and they are beefing you because you're pretty, it might be probably because they're kind of jealous of you, right? I don't think that is ugly privilege. I don't know. Like, is that ugly privilege in corporate world? I'm not in a corporate world, so I wouldn't know. Is that ugly privilege? But I know things like that happen. They happen a lot. Even the second creator that I was talking about, older women angry at the younger ones. Yes, it happens a lot, right? A lot in corporate world. But then, do you think that is because they are ugly and the other one is pretty? That is why they are kind of in that situation? Or do you think it's just normal insecurity, or they're just jealous, or they're just beefing her, or something, or they just feel like you think you're better than us, kind of thing? Saying that somebody is ugly, first of all, is kind of, for me, it's very difficult for me to see a woman and be like, oh, she's ugly. I don't know. I don't think you're ugly. The only time I might actually call you ugly might be your character or your attitude. Probably your attitude is very ugly, but not your physical appearance. I feel like anybody can be fine as they want to. You might possess a qualities or a features that makes you beautiful. I don't think somebody can be totally, completely ugly. Maybe I haven't seen, but I don't think I will see a woman and be like, she's ugly. I might see men ugly, but women, I don't know. You guys, what is your take on this video? Let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, your girl Mary David, and thank you so much for tuning in to this video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one, guys.